Hi there, episode 284. Good morning, my friends. Have you had a good night's rest? No? Well, you're not alone. According to research by the Sleep Institute, we are not getting enough sleep. 35% of Americans don't get the recommended 7 hours of sleep each night. On average, Americans sleep 6.8 hours each night. In 1910, the average person slept 9 hours at night. Lucky. And since 1985, the percentage of adults getting less than 6 hours of sleep each night has increased by 31%. So we're sleeping less and less every year. I'd like to talk about sleep today because it's a key ingredient, not only to our health, but also to our best self. We invest so much time into our health when we are awake. We pay premium for yoga and fitness classes to have more vitality and look better. We shell out extra dollars for expensive juices and smoothies that promise radiant skin and a good gut. And we are more productive than ever thanks to all the technology in our life. But when it comes to sleep, we often skimp. There's always another Netflix episode to watch, or another half an hour of scrolling through social media feeds, or just more work that we think we need to get done. Yet enough sleep is the foundation for everything we do. Without the proper amount of rest, it doesn't matter how much organic food we eat or how many yoga classes we take. Consistent lack of sleep affects our life in too many deleterious ways. It's much more serious than just dragging through the day on high caffeine. Every time I don't get enough sleep, I feel like I just took several steps back in my life. And this episode is not meant to scare you, but I want to talk about some of the ways that a lack of sleep sets us back. I first talked about sleep in episode 139, where I gave some recommendations on catching better sleep. Sometimes, though, it's necessary to really understand what actually happens when we pull an all-nighter yet again. I recently had a few nights that were too short for me to be my best self the next day. And that is what prompted me to cover it again on this podcast, because we tend to think that all we need is to recover is a good night's rest. But there are consequences to lack of sleep that we may not immediately notice. For once, it accelerates aging. I know, bad news. Sleep is not optional. Just because we think we can walk, talk, and think without it, it doesn't mean it's healthy. Sleep is the time when our batteries are charged. We recover. Cells and tissues repair themselves and give us strength for the next day. Those dark circles around the eyes that tell you that your child stayed up late at their friend's house, they are the body's stress response to a lack of sleep. Overnight collagen and other proteins that give the skin its elasticity are being repaired. So when you don't get enough sleep, your body releases more of the stress hormone cortisol. And cortisol can break down skin collagen, the protein that keeps the skin smooth and elastic. The decrease in blood flow along with the stress hormones mean dullness, dryness, and breakouts. Sleep loss also causes the body to release too little human growth hormone, something not only young people need to grow. As we age, it helps increase muscle mass, thicken skin, and strengthen bones. It's vital for healthy aging. 2. Lack of sleep affects body weight. I notice this very clearly every time. When I am tired, I drink more coffee. More coffee then speeds up my metabolism and I'm more hungry. When I lack sleep, I'm usually unable to stick to my diet because my cravings are off the charts. And science backs my observations up. Lack of sleep messes with our hormones. The sleep cycle helps control the two hormones that affect your appetite. Ghrelin, which informs the brain that you're hungry, and leptin, which tells the brain that you're satiated. When we are sleep deprived, we have increases in ghrelin and decreases in leptin, which causes us constantly to crave a meal, something I can definitely attest to. That spike in cortisol hormone also leads to storing fat in our midsection, sadly. And since you're not getting enough quality REM sleep to build your muscle fibers, any time you spend in the gym won't result in any measurable muscle gains either. The impact on weight is significant. And it's not just chemically driven. Which brings me to point number 3. Being sleep deprived makes you less effective. I'm sure you've noticed that your focus and attention are not where they need to be when you're tired. Sleep plays a critical role in thinking and learning. Lack of sleep hurts these cognitive processes. It impairs attention, alertness, concentration, reasoning, and problem solving. This not only makes it more difficult to learn, but also to recall what you've learned. In our increasingly fast-paced world, functioning on less sleep has become kind of a badge of honor. People pride themselves when they show up for critical events but didn't get much sleep the night before. Like it's some form of accomplishment. Look at me. I made it here without as much sleep as you guys. Don't be fooled by these people. They may be physically present, but their cognitive abilities are not comparable to yours who slept 8 hours. When all your energies are directed towards staying awake and making it through the day, there is little left for extra. Now think about all the tough willpower type decisions you face every day, on top of your otherwise already taxing day that includes work, dealing with traffic, family duties, and so forth. Now imagine talking yourself into exercising, or resisting tempting foods that show up, or being patient and kind with difficult people. All of this becomes so much harder when you are zeroing in on all the other stuff that normally happens on autopilot. Trying to function on little sleep wastes a ton of energy. It prevents us to be at our best because we are focused on just barely making it. And even for those of you who believe you don't need much sleep, maybe you just have accustomed yourself to it over the years. Our bodies are highly adaptable, but that doesn't mean it's good for you. Remember, your brain is in low battery mode, so your judgment is impaired, and you are less likely to assess situations accurately and act on them wisely. So the more you deprive yourself of sleep over long periods of time, the less accurate you are at judging your own sleep perception. Multiple studies have shown that people don't functionally adapt to less sleep than their bodies need. You may think you are, but your body runs on empty in the meantime. There is a range of normal sleep times. Most healthy adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, according to the National Sleep Foundation. Those over 65 need about 7 to 8 hours on average, while teenagers need about 10 and school-aged children 9 to 11 hours. You can find out the right number of hours that your body needs by testing when you will wake up naturally without an alarm. For me, it's somewhere between 7.5 and 8 hours. I know people that need closer to 9. Even if this seems like a lot to you, don't dismiss it. Your body tells you what you need, and you should not ignore it. And sleep doesn't equate laziness or waste of time. It's not something you can hustle your way around and power through on a consistent basis. Sleep is needed so we can show up as our best self. This means accomplishing more than just a daily grind. That's what we're here for, right? That's why you listen to this podcast, to find out what you need to change so you can find purpose, accomplish your dreams, and be the person you really want to be. Sleep is the foundation to it all. It will give you the rest you need so you have the mental capacities to focus on your quest. Being well rested feels good and prepares you for every challenge that you put out for yourself. Whether that's climbing a rock, running a race, or writing a business plan, start getting the sleep your body needs, and you'll notice that the other things will come to fruition more naturally. Much love.